Okay, can you see what's on the screen at the moment?
Yes, I see a web page titled BioniChaos Biomedical, with a list of different tools related to medical data visualization. There is a navigation bar at the top, and the tools are presented as a list with their name and description.
Is there any specific link tool that you find interesting?
The Seizure Zone Interactive 3D Brain Mapping Visualizer link looks interesting. It is described as a 3D visualization tool that allows users to explore different brain regions and their associated functions.
Okay, so I'm loading the tool. It's actually loading for quite some time.
Okay, I see that the 3D brain mapping tool is loading. It appears to be taking a little time. The screen is showing a 3D brain mapping tool that is highlighting a region of the brain in red.
Which region is highlighted at the moment?
The text on the right side of the screen says that the red area highlights the inferior and middle temporal gyri of the brain.
Okay, how about now?
Now, the red area on the brain visualization is highlighting the occipital lobe and the parietal lobe.
Are you taking it from are you reviewing the image or the text on the screen?
I'm taking the information from both the image and the text on the screen.
Okay, how about now? Which areas are highlighted?
Okay, the highlighted areas in the brain are now the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes.
Hey, how about right now?
The highlighted areas are still the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes, but the shape is slightly different now.
Hey, can you check again?
Okay, the highlighted regions now appear to be the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes, and their shapes have changed again.
How about now?
Now, the highlighted areas are the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes, and the highlighted regions' shapes have changed again.
How about now?
The frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes are still highlighted, and the shapes of the highlighted areas have shifted again.
Hey, can you check now?
Yes, now the highlighted regions are the cingulate gyrus and the insular cortex.
So you needed the text. You couldn't determine it from the image alone.
True that the text helped me identify the specific brain regions because the visual representation alone could be ambiguous.
Can you look at the image now, determine which part of the brain is highlighted?
Based on the text and the image, the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes are highlighted.
Yeah, I guess the problem with this image that it's not calibrated.
Yes, I understand. It seems like the 3D image alone doesn't provide enough information to know precisely which areas are highlighted without the accompanying text.
What do you think of the web application in terms of its design and usability?
The application appears to have a clean and intuitive design. It effectively uses a 3D model to show the areas of the brain. The highlighted regions changing based on different symptoms is also a useful interactive feature.
Now, interestingly, it's not timing me out yet. Can you actually choose another tool from what you can see on the screen?
Sure, okay. Let's try the EMG hand simulation tool.
Okay, what can you see?
Okay, the EMG hand simulation tool shows a diagram of a hand with two electrodes labeled E1 and E2. There are also two graphs, one for each electrode, showing signal patterns. The text explains how the tool simulates electrical muscle activity.
Okay, time me out. Time me out. Yes, we can start a new chat. This seemed to be, I didn't face like a limit with how many chats you can start, but within the chat, this was actually quite long before it would time me out much sooner. I'm not actually paying for this one. So this one, I'm not sure if it's clear that you can actually move the fingers as well. Yeah, maybe we can have a message there on the screen or something. They have like a demo mode going like a status. We have a bunch of new EMG tools that we'll be looking at as well, but currently it's primarily about figuring out how to use LLMs to develop these tools. Okay, there are other issues as well. Now the question before, I was trying several times to actually rewrite the whole code. Well, because I have to trust the developer, right? But I was having trouble with doing so, or maybe because it will skip existing content when regenerating the code, it will. Yeah, keyboard controls. That could be. It's a good idea. Where will shall we eventually try get the ChatGPT to do the same thing? What do you think? The question is where this error is coming from to begin with. Now this one says fixed index HTML with accessibility improvements. Does it mean that it only addressed one of the items? That's fine. It says, yeah, create complete production-ready version of all the files with fixes for all identified issues. Yeah, it's actually going for it. Yeah, it's doing both like Python analysis of the script and then a language model, as opposed to just language model. Okay, let's do it old-fashioned style. Yeah, we need the JavaScript as well. So we're developing this tool. I was just saying that, well, one obvious thing about it. Let's need to transcribe it as well. Okay, so when we're loading the page, we have this demo mode. Those are fingers, and each finger will move one at a time, and the signal simulation will adjust accordingly. However, we need to make it clearer that the user can actually take over. So we need some sort of status saying demo mode, and we need to make it clearer that the user can actually click on the canvas where the fingers are and take control over the simulation, moving the fingers yourself. And yes, potentially we might want to look into keyboard shortcuts as well, and make sure it's working both with the computer mouse and the touchscreen. The memory usage on the tab in the browser is pretty low, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's only like 39 megabyte, which I can happily deal with.
Here's how you can proceed to refine and enhance the tool based on your requirements and observations. First 1. Addressing demo mode and user interaction takeover. The current tool provides a demo mode where fingers animate sequentially and the EMG signals respond. However, it must be clear to users when the demo mode is active and how they can take control. Demo mode status. Add a visible indicator, such as a status banner or text, showing demo mode active. Update it dynamically.
Okay, so we're doing this application, trying to improve on it. We have this demo mode when we started. It's just flicking each finger one at a time. But then we want to make sure it's clear that the user can take over and actually control the fingers themselves. You also have keyboard shortcuts 1 to 5 for each finger. And we are trying to make sure it's working okay with the mouse and the touchscreen as well. And it looks good on the mobile screen. So I had quite a extensive chat with 4.0. By the way, this tool is already available on the site. You can go check it out. Yeah, while it's generating the code, go check out the other version, the current version, and other tools that we have online on this site.